What's up, guys? Welcome back to more Transformers Armada. So now we're moving on to what is probably
Megatron is
the largest, most ambitious, and most epic level in the entire game. That is the Pacific Island level. It's also one of the most challenging levels in the game. We'll get into that later on. So I'm not holding out for this this level at all. I'm going to go with a pretty powerful loadout here. We're going to discover some of the most powerful minicons in the game in this level, actually. There are dropships orbiting around the entire level, and when they've deployed their guys, they kind of have nowhere to go, because when you think about it, we already destroyed both of their bases for the Decepticons on Earth, so they really don't have anywhere to go. They just kind of float around aimlessly. But I have Aftershock equipped, which is the most powerful primary weapon in the game, and I'm going to be demonstrating that. It's also my favorite primary weapon in the game. It's stupidly overpowered, and it fires explosions. It also has a decaying trajectory, an arc, if you will. And I'm going to see if I can try to hit those guys from all the way over here. I probably can. I at least aggroed them. And so now that commander unit is going to start ordering his guys to go to places. And I'm going to see if I can snipe it with my secondary weapon, which is the sniper rifle. I'm only having the sniper rifle for now until we get to the next checkpoint, because there are some mean jet snipers in this area. I guess the commander unit hailed over this dropship. Or maybe I'm just going crazy. I don't know. But yeah, as you can see, Aftershock is a lot like Firefight in the sense of how the rate of fire goes, and the fact that you can charge it up, but it's a lot more powerful. It has a lot more splash damage, but the projectiles decay as well. It also can be charged for a much longer period of time than Firefight could, and the charge shot is a lot more powerful. We can also blow ourselves, like, it can also, like, almost instantly kill us if we hit ourselves with the charge shot, though, at point-blank range. But all the complaints I had about Firefight, I really liked Firefight the first time I played the game, but trying to use it there in the Pacific Island level against those the shield medium units with the grenades and everything, these ones right here, is just futile. Like, it just does not work. And as much as I love Firefight, it's just not nearly as good as using Aurora, or even using Spark Jump with the mines or something like that, or using what's the other one? The burst shot thing. I don't remember what it's called. The one that has the or Overwatch, yeah. There's also these mean turrets in this level, which don't really do a whole lot, unfortunately. They have a certain max range, and they have to have this was actually in sort of an in-joke that me and my brother came up with, that it seems like enemy AI in shooters has something called turret syndrome, not to be confused with Tourette syndrome, because that's not fun to make fun of, but turret syndrome, where all AIs are automatically attracted to the nearest turret, and it becomes their death trap. This is especially prevalent in Star Wars Battlefront, the original, where enemies would just walk up to turrets after there's like a pile of bodies in front of this turret from where we've shot down the guys that have been getting into it previously. But I know I can kill this turret outside the range of this thing's the hitbox of the weapon here, if I can decay. It has basically infinite range if I can get the shots to decay in the correct way, but I think they're just exploding just outside the kill zone here. So I think I might need to get a little bit closer, and even the sniper shots don't seem to be doing a whole lot. But basically I'm trying to blow up the entire turret.
received.
Even though you can blow up the user, and you can blow up the entire turret. You can't use the turret, though, which is really kind of a shame, but that would also give this game a generic turret section, which it does not need. Thankfully it does not have such a thing. It's more creative than that. There we go, we blew up the whole damn thing. Took us long enough, but we pulled it off. But yeah, those turrets are not super dangerous. They just, they're difficult to dodge and that sort of thing. Even in vehicle mode, they're pretty accurate. So we're going to come over here and find a rather well-hidden minicon. Oh crap, another jet sniper. Yeah, that's really the reason why I got the sniper rifles for those guys. So, as much as we love Aftershock, there's another green minicon over here that's a primary weapon that is just as good, but for different reasons. This is Corona, which is not something you can get drunk off of. Instead, it's one of the best primary weapons in the game. It's a super heavy ribbon beam as opposed to the heavy ribbon beam from Aurora. And as good as Aurora was, if you remember from the Alaska level, this is even, it's just a more powerful version of that, and it has a giant, hideous green death beam of awesomeness, and it's pretty good. It lasts for an immensely long time, and it does a lot of damage. And it also locks on the enemies we're hitting, so we don't have to sit there and actually aim. It basically does all the work for us. It's great. It's actually the best primary weapon to have against the battle against Megatron, but more on that when we actually get there. My other minicons, obviously I have Slipstream. I have to have Slipstream in this level. We're back to not using High Jump anymore. High Jump was basically only good for 2 levels then. And then I have a Pressure Point as the melee booster, just to have another green minicon for my green minicon team, and to be able to have a one bar minicon in my L2 slot, so I can have a 2. See, I don't even have to look at the enemy anymore. I can just keep walking. So I can have 2 4-bar minicons as my primary and secondary weapons. But now that we are at the save point here, oh, these bunkers right here, you can go into them and fight and encounter and get the datacons for this level down there, but they are obscenely hard, and they're optional, and because I told myself I'm not going to get all the datacons in this run, I'm not going to show those off right now. I might go back later on and do that. Anyway, now that we got to that save point there, I can go back to base and change my loadout real quick, and so I changed over, I got rid of the sniper rifle because I've used it for what I wanted to use it for, and I'm going to swap back over to Hailstorm and use that for now. So I have now the best primary and secondary weapons in the game, pretty much. Over here's another datacon next to this rather puny lighthouse here, again with the scale being off. I mean, it's okay when we're a giant robot. When we transform into a truck and then we're still twice as big as a house, that's when you know you've messed up on the scale. Yeah, these enemies will probably, they're not infinitely respawning, but they do spawn quite a lot of enemies. We can actually destroy the entrance to the bunker and it will reappear the next time we come back to the level. But if you want to like permanently close off the bunkers and not have any of these more enemies come out while you're still here, then you can just blow up the bunkers. They take a lot of punishment to kill though. But I'm basically just trying to clear enough enemies out where I can get enough health to be worth the waste of time. And then I'm going to proceed on. I'm not going to bother with this for too long. There's actually there's like 3 areas like this in the level that have these bunkers, and it's where the majority of the last datacons in the game are. But I mean, again, I'm only focused on getting the minicons, and I still have a few more of those to get in this level. And as much as I showed off, and this is also a really good level, what I was talking about before, about flying into the drop ships and then killing the enemies in there, and then watching the doors close and just seeing where it takes you. It's pretty funny. You can do that in a lot of different places in this level. I've done it quite a few times actually. And then they just fly out to the edge of the map and just kind of sit there, and they go in circles around the island pointlessly. The problem is, in order to do enough damage to destroy the dropship, you probably have to use a splash damage weapon that's going to knock you off your feet. So you can't just glide safely out of the destroyed dropship to dry land. You probably just fall into the ocean and die whenever you do that. Speaking of falling into the ocean and dying, let's come down here. This is a canyon full of turrets and meanness. But luckily, we now not only don't have to worry about being in range with Aftershock, and we don't have to worry about the sniper rifle even doing any damage. We can just blow them away with Hailstorm. Unfortunately, this Hailstorm is not as good about dealing splash damage to the turrets as it is to the dropship. So, whoa! Watch that rocket. We can't just blow through the turret into the enemy and kill the enemy. We kind of have to blow away the whole turret. Not that I'm complaining. I think I did actually knock him out of the turret just there because I kind of hit behind the turret so the splash damage would take care of it. There we go. Now we are Optimus Prime Professional Salmon. We are now swimming upstream to spawn. Probably would have been a better joke in the Alaska level, but oh well. As you can see, we can get up close and personal with this turret here and examine it a little bit better and see what it's... Why is this... frickin' rocket going off course there. Yeah, we can finally get up close to it and see what they actually look like and see that we unfortunately cannot operate it. But I can actually use the melee booster for a change in this level. Hey, if I've got it equipped, I might as well give it a try. Yeah, there's only a few more weapons I'm gonna or minicons rather, I'm gonna be getting them actually gonna use. We pretty much have the best things you could ever ask for. You know, we have build up, we have the reflection shield and the super armor, we have Hailstorm, we have Corona, we have Aftershock, that kind of thing. There's a few more that are really good that I'd want to show off. There are some interesting alternate setups you could have here. But I'm not really going to show off those in the main game if I just really don't have a good strategies that implement them. So there's a heavy unit over here as well as some other enemies around, and we're going to try to blow him away before the other enemies get involved in this encounter. We've already almost killed him with Hailstorm there because it does so much damage. Remember, he was the boss of the first level and we just killed him in like 2 seconds.
Sir, do you understood?
Alright, and then there's this is kind of a glitchy part. You see some enemies do some strange things here usually. There's an invisible commander unit over here. We're gonna, even though he might be invisible, he's not immune to super Corona ribbon beams. Again, trying to keep my distance from these guys so they don't sword melee me to death. But I think there's something really funny you can do with the command units in this area if you can get them to order their medium units to go to a certain location. And they'll just start running past you if you're over there at the spawn point, or no, not the save point rather. There's another one. I'd really like to physics those guys on their asses if I had Aftershock, but that's for another time. There actually is a secondary weapon I want to have instead of Hailstorm here, even though the Hailstorm is most powerful. There is another one that I would rather have for other reasons. One is the fact that it is, usually when I blow up that turret, that guy goes flying into the ocean in a very comical manner, but he survived this time for some reason. Anyway, I'll be demonstrating it here in a second. I'll be picking up. I usually forget that this minicon even exists until I get to this point in the game, and then I'm like, oh hey, this is actually really cool. They have to put these save points like right here in the heart of all these bunkers, which I really hate. Oh yeah, these guys right here, like there's their commander unit right there. All of these guys will start running off towards that hill and just completely ignoring you. It's really strange. But, you knew I was going for that save point, didn't you? I will not be fooled by you again.